Become a homeowner, they say. Best decision you ever make in your life is what they say. Your rent doesn't go up anymore. Being a homeowner. Yeah, until that happens. Hey YouTube, what goes on? And welcome back to Disavowed Action Figures, bringing you an update on my collection journey as we moved into our new home. This was a brand new home, and now I have a giant hole in my backyard because there is a septic issue. So the issue is not by the original people. Essentially, we needed to put a deck on our home, and the individual putting in the deck accidentally, with an auger, crushed one of those pipes down there that connects to the septic from our house that runs all the way down this way into our septic tanks. So they repaired it, but in repairing it, they didn't realize there was a rock, broken pipe, and dirt that essentially blocked everything right about down there. So we suddenly had water shooting into our home, out of our drain in our shower in our basement. And then we had water go into our utility room where I store a lot of my collectibles and comics. So yes, this is a toy and collectible update video. I'll show you some things from the toy room, but mostly I want to kind of show you, if you're considering being a homeowner, the sorts of problems you can run into. I do have some video of the flood that was in our basement, as well as some of the damage that was done. We did get a certified plumber to come in and look at this, and it's still being repaired. They were able to loosen it up just enough that we could flush toilets and get showers and things like that. However, we cannot flush solids, if you know what I mean. So essentially, I've been driving to the local Walmart to do my business, as we cannot flush anything because only water can get through the clog right now. And it was a holiday weekend. It was 4th of July weekend, which meant it couldn't be fixed until Monday by the plumber. So the plumber came, got the clog out, but there was still a clunk in there, and they said, we can't get that out with tools. We got to cut that pipe out and repipe it, basically. So what I need to do is, each time I get home, is look down the septic pipe here and make sure water's not backing up in there. If water's not backing up in there, it basically means we're still getting things through our septic pipes. Again, I'm new to all this. If I say something incorrectly, I apologize. You can let me know in the comments if I'm using terminology I best can use. But basically, the way all this played out is that, if you're a future homeowner, get everything in writing. So I requested that the deck company give it to me in writing that if there were any issues with the thing that they fixed, with the pipe that they replaced, they'd be on the hook to cover it. Then the next day is when the problem started, which means all the plumbing issues that occurred to bring in the plumber to do all the extra work to fix the septic, all of that they are paying for out of their pocket. So I feel horrible about that for them. But the thing is, why would we pay that out of our pocket, considering we didn't make the mistake, we didn't try to repair it, when really we should not have probably attempted that, should have got a plumber to begin with, but they wanted to do it themselves. Long story. So I'll pepper in some clips here. I'll kind of show you some updates on the collection. But if you're a homeowner, just some advice, get everything in writing. Certifications are key. Make sure you have redundancies like a warranty in place with the company. We've been super cool with them. They've been super nice to us, obviously. So it's not like we've had any tumultuous issues with one another. We're getting to be actually pretty good friends. However, again, when you're talking about your home and your family, you want to make sure your ducks are in a row. So this is going to be getting fixed on Monday. This is going to be a Sunday night video release. So I'll have to give you an update on the situation of this in next Sunday's video. It will be the 13th, I believe. You'll get a full update on if this was fixed or not. But I'm going to show you some video again, and maybe I already did, depending how I cut this video, of damages that were done, the water we got in our basement, and so on and so forth. So one thing that might have been wrong what the builder did was they covered this, because this is the cap, or I can't think what they actually call this, but essentially you can look down and see if your water is running to your septic or not. So right now you can't quite see it. I'm gonna drop the camera in there. You can hear and see water running. That's a good thing, because when this was blocked, nothing was getting through this at all. Now we're at least getting water and liquid through, which means, again, showers, laundry, although we're trying to hold off on laundry and dishwasher, we're going to overdo it. But water running through like that's a good thing, again, because it means that the water can escape and get through to your septic tank. I am a complete moron with these sorts of things. I knew nothing about septic tanks, never had one in my life. So the blessing in disguise through this situation was that I learned how all this crap basically works. Pun intended, right? Crap works. But right now, as I'm aware, they're going to try to get the rock out another way today while we were gone. But the plumber comes on Monday to fix everything so we can finally get back to regular everyday life. So being recent and new homeowners, there's some things we didn't just buy yet. For instance, we did not have a dehumidifier for our basement, which we knew we had to get eventually. We were kind of getting ready to do it over the holiday weekend. So when this occurred, the water initially, and again, you might see some of this, you may not, I'm not sure what clips I still have from when it happened. I was downstairs having a snack at our table in our basement area, our finished basement, and I hear this water kind of burble and bubble. Well, here I walked in, water was bubbling out of the shower drain. It's not a bathtub, it's just a shower, and water was backing up. So we figured out quickly our septic was blocked, water could not get out of the house. So we dealt with that, cleaned it up, bailed the water out, called our deck guys. They came, took a look at it, whatever. Next morning, the plumber's supposed to come. And the next morning, Tizzle, my girlfriend Alyssa, comes in the bedroom crying and wakes me up and says she went down to the basement to check on things. And there was water all in our back utility area where we store a lot of things, including my freaking comic book collection. So you can see here, Hickman Avengers, time runs out, some other storylines, and my Nick Fury collection, my box too, which I love Nick Fury, you know, from watching the channel. So none of the books were damaged. They're all now back out here in the garage. If you've been following the video of the move, you know that we use our garage basically as a storage container right now for things that we haven't moved into the house yet. So luckily, all these comics were not destroyed. Also, they're all bagged, which also very much helped, I'm sure. The water wasn't super deep, as you saw. However, it was deep enough to obviously cause damage. These boxes are done. They got to go. And then in addition to that, so that day, we had to then basically get some water in our rug as well. So we went to Home Depot, Lowe's, and bought 8 or 10 of these Damperids. It's like the bucket type for Damperid to get moisture out. We started running the dehumidifier 24/7 down in the basement where the water had gotten in. We used a shop vac we also purchased, which is not pictured here, to suck the water out as best we could. And we also had another little dehumidifier. So thankfully, it looks like no damage done to the finished basement. Thankfully, no damage done as it would appear in the back utility room and none of the other decoration things. But what I would say, and I'll show you in the basement momentarily, is that if you saw my video where I was showing how I stored my comics, never leave comic books that are in short or long boxes on your basement floor. If you can even keep things in your basement, put it on something raised. And I'll show you what I mean momentarily here when I show you what the room looks like now that we cleaned it up downstairs. So this is the shower's Bruno exploring. Bruno, hey. So this is the shower drain where I was literally sitting right behind me back here at the table where I podcasted already. If you've seen our podcast on Thursdays, Mega Toy Powered Podcast, Mega Power Toy Podcast. So literally about 15 feet away, I heard gurgle sounds. I thought it might be the toilet. Here it was water backing up out of that drain, which of course, you know, started to get out a little bit onto the floor, so on and so forth. It was a whole thing. So this is, again, the after effect. We scrubbed it out and cleaned it a little bit. We really don't use this shower. It's like a spare shower. But you can see we have the Damperid bucket back there. Just make sure we get all the moisture out. We don't want mildew. We don't want mildew. Let's make up a word. Any mildew or mold. Mildew would be the worst, right? Such is life. A lot of water coming out of that too. Wow. So again, I showed this area off, I think, in a previous Sunday night update video release of our whole move. So we just brought all this back in here. We had to completely empty it out. By we, I mean Alyssa. She did a lot of it because she didn't tell me right away because she kind of panicked. So you can see all the Damperids we have. That's our old shop vac. We went to Lowe's and bought a heavy duty shop vac. So all this stuff we had to get out of here, plus other stuff. There's still so much in our basement. And then this is The dehumidifier that we purchased, you can see it is currently full. I think since we hooked this thing up, we've taken out like 5 full tanks in like 2 or 3 days. So it is really sucking the water up. No water ended up over here. And again, in this video, there's a shop vac. I might have already showed you the video of what it was like back here. I kind of have to mix and match with what I have and what a Tizzle took for footage for insurance purposes and stuff. The water got out to the carpeting about there. And we also had some leakage that came out over on the far side of the room. So we used the shop vac. We bought an industrial, I call it an industrial fan. I don't know if it's actually called that. And other fans all throughout down here to try to dry out the wet parts as quickly as we could. But this is like super dry and clean again. Now, in terms of the comic book thing, what I was talking about was, you might have seen in my previous video, I had this rack in my old apartment that I used to cut down on storage for my long boxes and short boxes. And basically, I went, vertical with things instead of horizontal on the ground. Down below, you can see this rack that I got at Lowe's, like probably 10 years ago or something like that. Hey, Bruni. This rack is probably about 1.5 inches or so off the ground. So none of these boxes were damaged because the water that did come in, it wasn't super high. It was just puddling on the ground. But if I had any more than those 2 boxes, there's Nick Fury box number 1. If I had any more of those cardboard long boxes or short boxes down on the actual floor back here, then they would have been destroyed, and potentially the comic books could have been destroyed. So again, more damp rid. We kind of went overload, but we're not taking any chances. So lots of damp rid things throughout. That box got a little bit, no, this one did not get any damage. I did lose my box for my Galactus? No, my Marvel Sentinel. So the shipper box, or no, it was Galactus. The box this was in, I kept in case I ever wanted to sell it down the road or whatever and mail it. That got so destroyed from the water, I had ripped up and throw it away. But in terms of how things could have gone, could have been a lot worse collection-wise, thankfully.
There's more pipe back there.
Wow.
Yeah. So my camera, none of my equipment would do anything to that.
So this was all in that back storage room that Alyssa quickly moved out in sheer panic mode. Thankfully, nothing is destroyed. A lot of things were in bags, which helped. Luckily, none of the cardboard was on the floor. Nothing was on shelves, but it was stacked vertically. So a lot of the stuff that would potentially be destroyed, that's like a fabric, was on top of something that was a bin. So we had plastic bins under everything with the bags of things on top. So all this was very organized back there. Now it's just taking up our entire basement down here, which is a shame. And then even, luckily, we did get out. This was in the back. This is actually an outdoor thing, so that little weapon dried. We even had animatronics. We had a killer clown, Beetlejuice. Again, we're on top of plastic bins, which prevented any further damage or any damage at all, really, to those. But it's the crazy, crazy thing, man. It could happen to you, so you got to be prepared just in case. You never know. All right, so I did a little toy hunt today. That'll be coming out tomorrow, day after this video, which I guess would be tomorrow because I'm hoping to get this out tonight on Sunday night. Bought some short boxes on my toy hunt to pack up the comic books from the ones that were destroyed in the flood. So, and these will not be going back on the ground. I don't think we'll ever, knock on wood, have this trouble ever again, but I will no longer be putting anything cardboard directly on the ground. It's always going to be lifted on something plastic or something, say like a table. All right, so we hopefully will never get water down here ever again. This is hopefully a freak accident. We do have a sump pump just in case. But for $104.98 at Lowe's, Tizzle went and got these. They were knocked down to like $80 on a 4th of July special. So $100. They hold up to 1,000 pounds, you said?
Yep.
And again, it's easy to pop together. So this is where most of our holiday decorations are going to go back onto these racks to avoid any possible issues in the future. All right, so I've shown this off in previous videos regarding my move. I decided to go with the Walmart shelf. I'm going to buy another one to go right next to it where all the rest of this stuff's also going to go. Again, figures all around me. If you haven't seen my previous videos, I think I have 4 out regarding how I did the move, how I got the figures all here, and then setting them up just kind of like this for now. But the game plan is going to be, this is all stuff I have to open, but the game plan is going to be, I think, since we have the X-Men teams there, we have some villains there, and some random other figures there, the next Walmart shelf is going to go right, actually it's not going to go right next to it and leave some space, I think, to put my Sentinel or my Galactus when I eventually open it, right, if that ever happens. But this shelf next to this will be like more X-Men stuff, because there's a lot of X-Men stuff. But then same thing down here, I'm going to put the Avengers here. And then right next, I'll do more Avengers stuff, like villains or something, and then fill all this in with maybe Street Fighter. Again, there's just so much to go back here. But I'll show you what it looks like when I throw some Avengers down here. All right, so this is the fun and hard part, is trying to find where all these are, because they're all spread out throughout the room. So I'm kind of doing like new Avengers on the one side, random, oh, it's not random, Black Widow, Black Knight, Black Panther. Oh yeah, I guess I did do a thing there on accident. Hulk, Bruce Banner, try the Holy Trinity will be in the front there. The Iron Man, I'll put my Cap and my Thor. But the hard part is digging these guys out, because look, all the way in the back here, there's my Thor. Ares is back there, even for the new Avengers or Mighty Avengers or whatever Avengers. I did it to myself. I gotta reach behind these, not knock anything over. And they're big figures, this may not be possible. And we're just gonna do this the easy way. I'm just gonna move all these figures out of the way to get back to Thor and Ares, because there's no freaking way. I'm already knocking things over trying to get back there to them. All right, so I totally forgot how outdated this freaking Ares is. This is not the build, well, I guess it is the build figure. This is the reissue single version of this. That came in like the Thor Ragnarok wave or whatever, where they used to mix the MCU with the comic. So he's gonna go there hanging out. The sword is already, over time, you can see it definitely warped from being held a certain way. I'm not doing a whole Dark Avenger shelf, at least not now. And plus, I think they're gonna re-release him as a deluxe and an updated figure. So, and then Thor, I know this isn't like your mind's eye Thor. However, this is the one that came with the 2-pack with the Destroyer. I did have the original anniversary one. I sold that because I was going for stupid money and I just didn't see the need to keep it. I had it for years and never opened it. So this is my stand-in Thor. And if they do a Thor Max, I'm going to be pissed because I don't want to buy any Max figures. But yeah, you're going to go right here and we'll have Cap in the middle. And I'll show you what it all looks like. I'll throw some more Avengers on this shelf here as I go. So I'm going to do 2 Spider-Mans on my Avengers shelf. One, the more traditional look, which I don't know if he was technically ever an Avenger wearing that. That's the original retro carded one with the pins they first came out with. And then over here, the black suit Spider-Man, because that's what he wore when he was in the Brian Michael Bendis New Avengers run. So you can see I have a mix of New Avengers, Mighty Avengers back there, so on and so forth. So yeah, kind of filling it in nicely here. And then there's characters like, for instance, Blade. I believe he was recently an Avenger. I did not read that run. I stopped reading the Avengers books a couple of years ago. He's not going to go to the Avengers shelf. He'll go on more of like a dark kind of like hell mystical kind of shelf with, you know, guys like him right there. And then hard decisions, like for instance, obviously Hawkeye's got to go over there. I got rid of my old one from like the Odin Father wave or whatever it was. He has the Sky Cycle here. I actually have an extra Sky Cycle. So I'm going to take him off this, I think, and just pose him on the shelf. Then if I ever want to do a picture where he's in the Sky Cycle, I'll just, you know, bust it out and take him off the shelf. I'll put him somewhere near the front so it's easy access to Clint Barton. Also, I kind of wedged the arrow in his hand because I don't want to lose it and I don't want to baggy it up. So, yeah, the Avengers shelf. I added Wanda in here. Now, again, people might say you should be more content specific and actually have all the team members by each other. So I kind of did it over here. But I'm not going that strict with it. I just kind of want to get them out on display here. Eventually, I'll get some light strips. I didn't do that yet. So for now, it's just going to kind of be a little darker under the shelf. I have the flash on now to kind of show you what's going on. And even as I go making little kind of corrections, for instance, I forgot about this updated Black Panther. I really do like that one back there because he comes with, it was the Walmart exclusive, which I had a whole heck of a time finding back in the day. But I think I'm going to swap him out for this Black Panther because this one just stands better. I might, no, I guess I have the claw hands out, so I can't even give him his staff, but kind of move things around a little again here and add him in. Also forgot how much I hate his frickin' cape. It looks good, but it's not practical for a shelf because it's how it's, you know, flared out in the back. Of course, it's not soft goods. This one's going to fit much better and not knock things over. Like I literally knocked over Black Widow trying to pull him out to add him. I also had made the decision to put 2 Wolverines on my X-Men shelf, the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure version and then the X-Men 97. I think I'm going to take the Apocalypse version out of the back there and put him down next to Hawkeye, so he's there prominently in the front, and also because, again, he was most notably one of the main original New Avengers that Bendis selected. The same freaking problem I had with Black Panther is with Doctor Strange, that stupid plastic cape, but I actually like the way it looks on him, and this is my representation of Strange on the shelf, so I shifted Hawkeye over. I don't think it looks as good, but I like the way it looks here with Stephen Strange and Wolverine kind of front and center with some other New Avengers characters. Yeah. I like this. So we added Winter Soldier Bucky in there. He was an Avenger. And again, characters that could go there but won't. Agent 13. Okay, she was technically at some point apparently an Avenger. Quake, all right. Quake in the back, right? Yeah, that's Maria Hill. Quake right there. They're going to be on my S.H.I.E.L.D. shelf for obvious reasons, you know. So, but yeah, again, just kind of so many Avengers over time to mix in here. So many iterations over the years. And then same thing with like cosmic characters. Quasar, Moon Knight isn't cosmic, but he was an Avenger at one point. So characters like that will be on a different themed shelf over time. I'm not going to have all of them on Avengers. Fantastic Four at some point. I believe most of them are also Avengers members, but they'll have their own FF shelf, back here too. And it gets really weird because you get like the Uncanny Avengers, which was a spin-off. I think it might have been Rick Redeemer. I could be wrong. I probably am. Sabretooth is listed as a member, so obviously he's not going to go on the Avengers shelf. All right, finishing touch for today. We're just going to add Captain America right there in the front. I'll finagle him in a little bit better, but wanted to show my hand putting him there. I just added Marvel Boy as well. Again, I know I'm not doing Dark Avengers. I think he was on the team as an Avenger before Dark Avengers. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. But you could say I have a lot more space to add figures in the front. There's a lot of still. I need a Quicksilver. I want him in the blue suit. But then he would probably go over with my X Factor team. So maybe I'll buy the new one that was the Walmart exclusive. I don't know. I'm all over the place. But I'll tell you this. It's been a very stressful week. You saw all the crap that went on, literally, pun intended, went on with the Septic in this video. Tomorrow on Monday, I have a new toy hunt coming out. However, they're supposed to fix it for good. So we'll see what happens. I'll update you next Sunday night, hopefully, if I can keep with this Sunday night series of what happened. But I definitely needed this. Toys are great because they're a fun distraction. Had a great time talking podcasts with the guys over at Yojo Jerk's channel. Helped take my mind off it like the day it happened. Obviously playing with figures, moving things around. Great stress release back here. But with that said, thanks for watching. If you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It is free for you, does not cost you anything, and helps us grow the channel tremendously in the march to 8,000 subscribers. While you're at it, go ahead and click that bell for notifications, because that way YouTube should notify and tell you when we post new content here to the channel, like our weekly toy hunts, reviews, and live streams. Leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. For daily toy content and daily toy updates, try checking us out over at Instagram at Disavowed_12. Hey everybody, if you're going toy hunting this week, please try to remember the 3 P's of the toy hunt: patience, persistence, but most of all, politeness. Take care, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing all of you at the pegs.